What's up, everybody on YouTube? Free Swimmer here. I was working today and thinking about the aquarium and the basically we'll call it the plywood journey. When I built the first one, the 360 gallon, it had just a plywood bottom with 4 panels of glass. It was the 8 foot by 3 foot by 2 foot tank, and I learned about the epoxy. I learned about getting glass and plywood to work together, and I did a bunch of building there. It was a Malawi tank. I had all Mbuna in there, and that was where I wanted my crystal clear water. And if everybody remembers those videos or hasn't seen, you can check out my past videos, and it shows the water was so clear that some of the comments were, is there even water in the tank? It looks like the fish are floating in air. This is more like a pond. I took the experience from that. It helped me with the 540, which I built next, and it helped me with the 210 gallon sump, which I assembled. And then ultimately this 1,000 gallon tank on top of it. And I took all the experiences and I put them together, and I like I like the way the water looks. It looks like a pond. It looks natural. All my parameters are spot on. Yes, my pH could be a wee bit lower, but I'm happy with 7.4. That's good for the southeast. I mean, it's stable. Everything in this tank is just purely, totally stable. But the gist of the video is, I'm saying I took all the experiences and I built this tank, and it took me about, I probably planned, once the 540 was done, I went into planning on this one. And I just took about a year of what was I going to transfer from the other one to what was I going to buy, gathering all my pieces, gathering my new 2-part epoxy, my pond shield, gathering all the lumber, the paint, everything, all the fasteners. I decided to do a water treatment system, water conditioner, and I plumb it in from the other room. I mean, I could not have easier water changes with doing a 200 gallon a week water change. I turned some valves, let it drain, turn a valve, let it fill. I add conditioner now. As I stated when I started with that water treatment system, it removes chlorine, chloramines, and sediments. Something I neglected to notice was it does not take out heavy metals. That's where a water conditioner, Amquil, or a Prime, or a Starlight, any one of those will take out those heavy metals as well. So I do add that as well. And I know that the water is right where it needs to be for these guys at all times. But the journey on this, once it was all assembled, I had the majority of the fish came from the other tank and just transferred in here. I added several to it, and since then, in the past 2 months, I've added about 20 more. Due to the fact that the heavy metals were not being removed, I did suffer some casualties during the initial setup. So that's always sad, but it occurred. But since I've had this set up, it's right at about two years in, coming up on 3 months now. 2 years and 3 months. Everything has been working very well, and it's like lighting. I feel like I've really got where I want with the lighting. I love the rays of light coming in. I love the LEDs that I made with these DIY LEDs. The above tank sump filter, that does an awesome job. It, for less than a third of the price, it absolutely kicks butt of it whoops the FX6 that I had, and that's a great filter. But this one just does an amazing job. Gathering the wood, watching the fish, making sure they're right. personalities, compatibilities, moving rocks around, moving wood around, changing lights underneath the tank so I can see the sun better. There's just so many little things. You know, adding the water streams, the bubblers. That's a pond bubbler. I learned about the humidity issues. That's where I took out the back window. I added fans on top, fans on the bottom, put a good paint on there, added the dehumidifier. I mean, building the tank with the experiences from the other ones, that was a big endeavor. But the amount of things that have taken place since then to make everything habitable the way I want it for these guys and the way that's best for them has probably been the greatest part of the plywood journey. I had the experiences in building it. Now I got to apply all the experiences that I've had and all the ones that I've gained, because regardless of fish keeping for over 40 years, I started doing this. My goodness. My first fish tank was in 1979. Was it before then? I can't even remember. Okay. 41 years, we'll say. I've been keeping fish. And I want to always remain teachable. There's things that'll come up. I've learned, for me, what works amazing is I did have ick when I first set this up. Some of the Warus, that guy right there was actually a wee bit like the one above him. And I had 6 of them initially, and I let one go to a friend, and I lost 3 due to ick. I mean, ick. How many seasoned veteran fish keepers get ick? Yeah, right there, bam, I had it. And but I learned the treatment without any chemicals at all, which treated the entire tank with salt. Raised the temperature. I had the temperature up to 86 degrees. Vacuumed the substrate after it was all done. I did water changes every day. Added salt every day. Kept the temperature up. After 7 days of that, those free swimming ick spores have nothing to go to. They go to the bottom, they die. They have no host. You vacuum them up. Thank God I've had no ick problems since then. Every once in a while I'll raise the temperature and I'll put a little salt in there just as a preventative, but I don't do it consistently because I don't want there to be any immunities built up. And you know, gratefully, I've had no problems with that. So just wanted to share little things that you go through, little trials, and the journey in my plywood journey. Any more is rambling. Thank you to everybody who subscribed. Please leave a comment. Anybody that isn't subscribed that sees this, if there's anything you want to know or there's anything you want to see or anything, subscribe to me and share. The community is awesome. We're all here to help. And I want to say a shout out to someone who I've been paying a lot of attention to. There's a lot of people out there that I really appreciate. But Dan Hiteshew, he does like a daily video, and he's got common sense things, and he shares good, bad, or indifferent. That's how you learn. You don't learn from just seeing everybody's great, perfect everything. You want to know when someone has an issue. You want to know when something's going wrong. You want to know how to fix it. And he does that. He's someone that hasn't got so big that he won't respond to you. I hope I'm never too big to respond. Well, let's hope I'm too big, but I still will respond. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend. Later.